Those running quarterbacks in the NFL can be a real pain, not just for defenses, but for team stats. All right, they get into that team rushing, like Lamar here, the Eagles here in Washington. These running quarterbacks, of course, push them to the top of the team statistic rushing leaders. So we're going to have to remove them from the process here. We take out Kyler Murray here, or Tune, and some of these receivers and get just where it's just running back data, right? We got to bring them out of there so we get the clean running back touches. Which team gives their running backs the most touches is Detroit, right? 588 times. That's why they can support these two running backs. Another team like that is Pittsburgh here at number 3. Caleb Johnson is an exciting rookie. Well, you know he's getting some touches. They platoon here. We can see it in the data, right? Well, some of these teams like Atlanta and Philadelphia here are true ball hogging team. They give that top running back a lot more of the carries, right? So we take break each team down. Here you can see James Conner's the number one running back here with 62%. And we go next to Trey Benson here with number 2 running back at 15% of the team touches. And Derrick here 9%. So we can break it down by that. So we get the running back touch distribution. This is what's gold for fantasy, not just for weekly rankings, but for the yearly rankings. I can tell which percentage of the time the running back number 2 gets the ball, right? But today we're just looking at running back number 1. Let's see which team gives the ball the most to that running back number 1 and who running a ball hog type running back show. So let's get started. Welcome into Fantasy AI. Moving on. Let's get started here. Looking at the top 10 ball hogs from last year. LA Rams, Kyne Williams, 79% of the running back touches went to Kyne Williams. 316 by rushing, 40 by passing targets. He had 16 touchdowns to go with it too. So, produced was the 6th in fantasy, right? Here at 3rd amount of touches, but 6th in fantasy, so a little less efficient here. His efficiency rating wasn't very good. The deal here is he is in his last year of his contract, 2025, so only making less than $1 million. So he'll be up for contract after this year. We like the players in there fighting for their contract next year, but have the Rams already decided to move on? They picked Blake Corum last year, little used. Didn't get, but he was a 3rd round talent. We expected him to get more action last year. He didn't. So maybe this year. And they brought in this Hunter too. Jaquez Hunter. Maybe he'll get in there and get some action too. So they're loading up behind Kyne Williams. Prepare for his next year when he's going to be a free agent. So do they make a move here and switch a little bit more and bring some of those carries down? Stay tuned. We'll have to find out. But he was certainly a ball hogger last year. Next up is DeAndre Swift, Chicago. He handled 78% of the running back touches last year. Right? 253 by rushing attempts. 52 targets used in the passing game. Had 6 touchdowns. Now, of course, he's under new management, bringing in Bjan Robinson to the Bears. Going to be in there, going to be their new coach. So they have Swift. And he has some experience with Swift, remember? Bjan Robinson called plays for Swift in Detroit before he got shipped away, and then they shipped him to Philly after that. So, but the Bears have made some improvements along with Bjan Robinson as their offensive coordinator. Brought in those offensive line help, Joe Thuney, Jonah Jackson, Dahlman. They're going to be, of course, he going to work with a lot better line here than he has in the past, Swift. So, the big surprise there, everybody was looking for him to add. They didn't. He's going to be their number 1 running back. So far, they haven't added anyone else, but he finished 19th. They've got him preseason ranked 13th or 24th, but you can see here he's got the 31st hardest schedule the Bears do. Roschon Johnson's going to be the number 2. Look at that. He's a little more efficient, 82% efficient On 61% of the or 61 touches, he finished 52nd in fantasy. So he picks up where Swift's efficiency 57. So are they going to make a switch there? We got a new coach. Is Swift going to retain that? So that's why he's not being ranked higher with the improved lines, the thing. They just got him here. So we'll have to see how preseason goes. But hey, he may end up being a sleeper if they discount him too much. But all right, we'll move on to the next ball hogger from last year, and that's Barkley. Right? Handled 74% of the team's touches. Now, this is a percent of the team's touches. That team's getting a little more. You can see he had 345 rushing attempts, led the league, 43 rushing or passing targets to go with it. Had the 2,000 yards, had 278 yards to receive, 15 touchdowns last year. Now, he's going to be a ball hog again this year, right? Well, they brought in Will Shipley, or not. They didn't bring in anyone. The competition they brought in is A.J. Dillon. And we haven't seen a lot from A.J. Dillon lately. Look at that. It's just been steadily declined. So no competition there. Will Shipley finished 103rd last year. Lightly used. They used Barkley. So Barkley's going to line it back up and go again. See if he can get as many carries as he did last year. How about Derrick Henry? 73% of the team touches. They're not going anywhere else. They're going to go to him, especially at the goal line. 325 rushing attempts, not as many targets. That's what's keeping him back a little bit. Had 1,921 yards, didn't quite get to that 2018 touchdown. So, whoo. Hey, what kind of moves did they make? Well, of 9 players, he's one of only 9 players to get the 2,000. Led the NFL twice. I mean, we know Derrick Henry. So what about next year? Well, nobody. Justice Hill, Keaton Mitchell, they're running it back. That's about the same thing. Now, Derrick Henry, like some of the others, is in the final year of his contract. So have to keep an eye on that. But they're not, hey, why would you stop a good thing, Derrick Henry? He's going to get the ball next year, too. And on the number 1 team offense, right? So, all right, let's move on. Bring out the next. And that's Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor handled 73% of their team's touches. 303, 31 receiving there, you can see. 1,431 yards rushing, 12 touchdowns. Still on top there in Indy. So they brought in a rookie, though, this Giddens. So you're going to get a little bit more of the action. Ability to catch the ball out of the pass. He might end up being the passing down back. Got him in the 5th round, but hey, we were deep. So that's pretty good talent they got there. Deep at running back class, right? So Khalil Herbert 3rd. No, if anybody's going to get any action, it's this Giddens. Now, how are they going to do with the battle between Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson? Well, hey, that could end up being better for him. They were the 13th team offense, that 25th in passing. Well, everybody know you're running. If they could do any improvement there with Daniel Jones, running more of a normal type of offense, well, that'd be good for Jonathan Taylor if he can maintain that. Jonathan Taylor's been how many years in the league now? Looks like 5. Hey, been picking it back up this last one. Always over 10. Always the team focus. So he's a ball hogger there for Indy, right? Moving on. How about Joe Mixon? Joe Mixon received 72% of his team's touches at running back. And about 300 total, 245 rushing. Heck, there's room for more in there. 12 touchdowns overall. Joe Mixon finished 12th. 69% efficient. Wasn't the terribly most efficient either. But, hey, they did bring in this Woody Marks. Right? Woody Marks. Rookie. 4th rounder. Like we said, though, deep class. So you're getting some stuff with that. Joe Mixon. He said he was traded to them for a 7th round pick. Well worth that. 29 years old, getting a little older, so maybe that's why they're bringing this Woody Marks. I got Guambwe 3rd. So Houston, maybe they can be a little bit better this year. Brought in some offense or receiver help. Let's see how they do. But maybe Mixon can still be a ball hog again next year. How about one of the top here? Bjan Robinson, 70% of the team's touches. That's probably because of Tyler Algier. They're 300 rushing attempts, 72 targets in the passing game. Gets them in the passing game as well. Got the new young quarterback, though, coming in. That's going to be part of it. Had 1,880 yards from scrimmage. So finished fourth overall. Second most touches. Gets the ball a lot. They're going to continue that. They said that was the goal last year, getting him the ball, right? Healthy workhorse. Ranked third in the league with 728 yards after contact. Was that first round pick, number 8 overall. But hey, doing great here this last year. Tyler Algier remains. I think he's in the last year of his contract too. So he'll be their competition. And it's Chase. But hey, but the big story here, number 6 team offense last year for Atlanta. Part of that was team passing 5. Drake London came on. But under new quarterback this next year, we'll see how this works out. But everyone's got, you can see here, the big news here is, hey, not only is he ranked by everyone as the top 1, well, yeah, he's got the second easiest running schedule. Atlanta does. He just set up again. Healthy young back. He's going to be number 1 probably. Moving on, though, how about Chuba Hubbard? He took 70% of his team's carries or running back touches. 200, or it looks like 304 total. Kind of surprised last year, 11 total touchdowns. Well, the surprise kind of is that this Jonathan Brooks was just nowhere. Placed on PUP again, will miss the whole year this year. So it's back to just Hubbard again. They signed him to a 4-year, $33 million contract, Hubbard. So he'll be the centerpiece. Finished 11th overall in fantasy. 69% efficiency here. I think just Rico Dowdell was brought in. 58% efficiency. So Chuba Hubbard will probably still be there. And look out here. They brought in a rookie. They're not done yet. Got a rookie. ETN, 4th round, 114th overall. Little speed guy, too. So Carolina's got quite the bench here. Now, they may have done that to this Dowdell, who they brought in free agency, paid him $6 million, but you see he's only 1 year. So after that, it could end up being ETN. See how this year goes, right? Maybe there'll be improvement by Bryce Young. They were the 29th team in offense last year, 30th in passing. Hey, maybe this Ted McMillan they brought in will help them there, right? Impressive first pick, 8th overall for them. So Hubbard returns as their ball hog. All right, let's bring out the next one. We've got Tony Pollard. This was kind of a surprise. 69%. This is the one that shocked me the most. I thought they were sharing there a lot. They're 307. Well, it looks like 317 total touches he got. Look at that, 1,000 yards rushing, 5. He didn't do as good in touchdowns. That's where the problem is. Of course, there wasn't very many to go around. So Tajay Spears here finished 44th overall. And you can see he was 71% efficient. He was 44th. He did pretty good. That's kind of the little rub here on Tony Pollard. 53% efficient. Wasn't very efficient last year. So he got the 10th amount of touches. That's what we're seeing here. And 21st in fantasy finish. So not very efficient. So if Cam Ward gets him cooking, though, and they get a little bit better offense there, maybe there'll be more to go around with that 9th easiest schedule, too. Pretty nice schedule there. They preseason ranked him 25th. Finished 21st last year, so probably right on there. And we'll bring out the last ball hog. Kind of total surprise here. Chase Brown just took over that Cincy running back job into himself. 229 yards or 229 carries, but hey, that would have been better. They passed the ball constantly there. 11 total touchdowns. Hey, 13th fantasy finish on the 16th. You can see 71% efficient, getting better there. So didn't quite get the 1,000 yards rushing. Zach Moss, nothing there. Last year, saw Majay P. Ryan. They brought him in. They did bring a rookie, but hey, it's going to be Chase Brown more than likely again. And see if they run the ball a little bit more. They did a lot of passing. You can see the number 1 team rushing in passing and 30th in rushing. Number 9 overall, but it was all passing. Hey, why wouldn't you when you got Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Burrow, even Gesicki here comes back, finished 17th fantasy tight end overall. But all right, so there they are, the top 10 ball hogs. Let's take a look at this. All right, it's that time. I need to fill my shorts. Get a short, make a short out of this. Warning, this is a rapid repeat. Fantasy AI with the top 10 running back ball hogs. Chase Brown got 67% of his team's running back touches. Tony Pollard got 69 of Tennessee's running back touches. Chuba Hubbard, 70% of Carolina's. How about Bjan Robinson got 70% of the rushing attempts or the targets for the running backs. Joe Mixon, 72% for Houston. Good pick up there. Jonathan Taylor last year, 73% of Indy's. Almost every year he's getting that. Derrick Henry, 73% of Baltimore's running back touches. Why give it to somebody else? How about Barkley? Led the NFL in running back touches, but 74% of his team's touches. DeAndre Swift has a new head coach, and he got 78% of the touches last year. See how he does? Kyne Williams, 79% of the Rams, ball hogging.